Welcome to the lesson walkthrough for lesson 1.2.2, How Do They Compare? We had a relatively easy day today working in class on writing expressions. I'm going to scroll down here on my screen, as you can see, down to the review and preview portion. Your responsibilities for homework tonight are 157, 158, and 160, A, B, and C, not D. And you don't have to worry about 161 if you were given permission for that. So let's begin with question 157. It says, which is greater, 3 sets of 5 minus 2 or 2 sets of 2 plus 6? Draw diagrams to support your conclusion. Okay? This seems really confusing just based on the way that it's written. Firstly, it says 3 sets, let me just highlight this here. It says 3 sets of 5 minus 2. Okay? What does that mean? 3 sets of 5 minus 2. Well, first off, let's think about what 5 minus 2 actually is. 5 take away 2 would be 3. Ooh, that showed up really bad. Let me erase that and try again. 5 take away 2 would be 3. Okay? How much is 3 sets or groups of 3? That's kind of how you want to go about solving that. Let's take a look at some of the help to see if there's anything that can help us with. Here's the hint. It says simplify each expression. That means before, like when I did the 5 minus 2, I simplified it to just one number. It says think, for your diagram or your picture, is there any way to draw a group of numbers to represent these figures? And eventually it would give you the answer if you really needed it to. But basically what you're going to do is your job is to draw some type of diagram that goes along with 3 sets of 3 or 2 sets of whatever. If you're looking for an idea of diagrams, this is an idea of diagrams, okay? In pile 1, you have how many sets of 12? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You have 6 sets of 12. That should help you figure out how to draw 3 sets of 3 or 2 sets of 2 plus 1. So you need to try and figure out which one is greater by drawing those diagrams. Pause that now and solve on your own. I'm going to be erasing my assistance for 157, and we're going to be moving on to 158. 158 says, let's highlight here so our eyes go right to it, says the diagram at right represents piles of pennies. Okay? So in here, these are piles of 5 pennies, and these are piles of 12 pennies. Here's a pile of 6 and 3 individual pennies down here. Okay? It's asking you which pile has more pennies. Explain your reasoning. You're going to want to write your sentence similar to this. I think that pile, whether it be number 1 or number 2, has more pennies because it has however many groups of 12, 1 group of 6, and 3 extra pennies, or because it has however many groups of 5. So you do want to write 158 in a complete sentence. So answer the question, which pile has more pennies, and then explain how you know. Then what you want to do is you want to write 2 different number expressions for representing the number of pennies in each pile. I'm going to give you an example for pile number 2. Okay? Expressions are what we practice writing in class and what we did when we did our own penny activity and how we organized the given number of pennies. But you can see that in pile number 2, right here, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 All right, I know the first row has 6, plus another 6 is 12. 13, 14, 15, 16. I could write that expression as I have 16 groups of 5. There's also other ways to write it. You could write it 16 times 5. Okay? Both of those are expressions because they don't have an equal sign. This is just representing to you the amount that is in pile number 2. It's your job to work on pile number 1, which is a little bit more difficult. Then, when you're ready to move on to 158C, it asks you to write a number comparison, which is what we worked on in class today, using the greater than, less than, or equal to symbols, okay, to show if the number of pennies in one pile is greater than the number in the other. So what you're going to do is you're going to write your expression for pile number 1, your expression for pile number 2, and you're going to tell me whether or not you think that pile 1 is greater than, less than, or equal to pile 2. So you're just practicing writing those comparisons. And the information that goes in here is this information. Let's say for pile 2 you decided, yep, 16 groups of 5. Whatever your expression is right here, then you put in your comparison, whatever you think. So take some time to solve that now. When you're ready, we're going to be ready to move on to 160. 160 is asking us to use your knowledge of place value. Okay? We've been working a lot with place value. Use your knowledge of place value to place the correct inequality sign, which would be greater than or less than between each pair of numbers. Your responsibility is to do A, B, and C. Okay? We worked on a couple strategies and practiced a little bit today in resource. So hopefully you'll be able to figure out exactly what inequality sign is supposed to go inside. Don't worry about D, just work on A, B, and C. It's a pretty straightforward walkthrough. Again, this is for lesson 1.2.2. Hopefully this was beneficial to you. Again, if you have any questions, feel free to come in during recess or anytime. Find Mrs. Corder or myself, Miss B, and we will be able to help you. Until then, have fun finishing your math homework.